Hey lovelies, we've got part two of my Jeanne Arthes perfume haul here that's from Latino as well. They're such a bargain from there, so I thought I'd get the second batch in and I'm going to make myself comfortable and then I'll talk to you about these guys as well. Alright, first up, this is the one that I think everyone's going to be really interested in because this is a very popular line from Jeanne Arthes. It's one of the ones that gets talked about quite a lot on YouTube. So this is the Tea Time à Paris, and this is Tartlet Citron. So this is the third in this collection. The green one is basically a very creamy, incredibly sweet almond and heliotrope perfume. Actually smells very similar to the dry down of Reminiscence heliotrope, without the much more complex kind of earthier kind of slightly more aromatic and herbaceous vibe that you get in the top of that perfume, because there's like patchouli. Is there mint in that? I can't remember all the notes, but I remember there being herbs. But yeah, the green one, which I can't remember the name of, I think it's something Armandia or something. So, is it macaron almond? Something like that. It's very sugary, very creamy, very sweet. And when I say creamy, it's like creamy in a kind of nutty, slightly powdery floral way as well, because there's quite a lot of heliotrope. But it's very pretty. Like I said, very similar to heliotrope by Reminiscence, but it's a much more affordable, more straightforward version of that, quite linear. The pink one's called Pavlova. That one has similarities with something like, I'd say like Burberry Her Elixir, but I find it a little bit less screechy. It's basically, it smells to me like apple and raspberry. It smells to me like an apple and strawberry jam with a sprinkling of very crunchy, so kind of powdery meringue, and then like a dollop of cream on the side. So it's not the creamiest, it's more fruity, I think, than it is creamy, but it has just a hint of that creaminess and it's very sugary. This one, it says on the back, let's have a little look. Delicious slice of lemon meringue pie. Now, the notes would suggest otherwise, because as you can see from the notes, lemon, apple, ginger, jasmine, freesia, whitewood, musk, cedar and mineral amber. None of those things are suggestive of a lemon meringue pie. But anyway, so let me tell you how I feel about this guy. So first off, when these come over from Europe, they do seem to get banged around quite a lot, and every single one of the bottles I've had with this kind of paint on gets chipped. So yeah, it's turned up quite battered. Poor little thing. All right, so Tartlet Citron. This is going to be for people who like Acro Bake and Dolce & Gabbana Devotion. For me personally, this one does not work. This smells like aroma chemicals to me. So it also has a bit of a vibe of a slightly less bitter citronella candle. Yeah, the lemon in here smells like a cleaning product to me, and the apple makes it smell a bit candly. And then there's a really kind of slightly bitter, woody jasmine, which is really strong. This is a very, I mean, to me, it's like basically a lemon and, it sounds rude, a lemon and jasmine bathroom cleaner. It's that kind of thing for me. But the thing is, I can't smell some of the aroma chemicals that are supposed to smell sweet or creamy or vanillic. So Acro Bake to me smells like Lemsip, as in like literally a medicinal lemon, like a lozenge or something, and paracetamol, which is, I don't think, what they're going for, and a lot of people do not at all smell that. And then Devotion smells like, again, it smells like a bathroom cleaner, but that one smells like a lemon and orange blossom cleaner, you know. This one smells like a jasmine and lemon cleaner to me, so it's not for me. I imagine lots of people will be able to smell those aroma chemicals as the notes that they're intended to be representing, which I feel like is supposed to be a little bit creamy and sweet, whereas the sweetness here for me is almost entirely coming from an apple. So I get like an appley note, I get a lemon note, loads of jasmine and quite a, like I said, kind of woody, bitter jasmine, which I am not digging at all. So that one, not into it. It doesn't work for me. Oh, by the way, someone's compared, a few people actually have compared this, and I do kind of agree, to Moschino Love. So Cheap and Chic Love. And yeah, it's got that kind of feel to it, and which is, that one smells a bit like light blue, right? So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't smell edible to me. It smells more like light blue, and I light blue kind of smells like a cleaning product to me as well, because that's another aroma chemical bomb. So yeah, this is definitely sweeter than light blue though. Next up, Boum do Brasil. Look at that, what a crazy box, bless it. All right, so let's see, what does this one say? Mandarin coconut water tiare flower, biscuit coconut milk heliotrope flower, musk sandalwood and vanilla. So probably anyone who's been looking at this or just looking at those notes, this is obviously supposed to be a dupe for Brazilian Crush Cheirosa 62 by Sol de Janeiro. That's a body spray that I wasn't mad for. I found it quite sickly and it was so nutty that it was just a bit much. And this does kind of smell like it, but I'm wondering if this one actually smells more fruity than the Sol de Janeiro. So I feel like there's more tangerine in this and a little bit less, because it's got a biscuit, but it's not really nutty, if you see what I mean. It doesn't have that same almondy nuttiness, but it is very similar. I smelt a very young lady who, I have to say, was dressed the way that me and my mates used to dress back in the 90s. So, you know, I'm at that age now where styles have come right back round again and everyone looks like they're in All Saints. But anyway, she smelt like this, just like it. And I was thinking, I can really smell the heliotrope in this. I think the chances are she was wearing the actual Sol de Janeiro body spray. But this one is definitely similar. I do definitely get the heliotrope in this, which is something I didn't notice quite as much in the original, but I think I was so overwhelmed by how nutty that smelled. And to me, nuttiness and that biscuity smell definitely does have a bit of a stale smell to it, so I kind of struggle with that. This one, it definitely chills out on the biscuitiness as it dries down. So I think this one, it really starts off smelling absolutely like a literal biscuit. Very sweet, a little bit coconutty, but I get a lot of tangerine in this for sure. And it gets sweeter and sweeter as it dries down, and you get a lot of vanilla, a little bit of musk. I feel like, I'm not sure, I'll have to do a disclaimer, I just like sweeter perfumes than I used to nowadays. I think it's because I've found my type of vanilla, which is actually more like a green vanilla, like Eau Duelle or De la Lique Le Parfum. Those are my favourite vanilla perfumes. And so I've kind of acclimatised to much sweeter perfumes than I used to like. I've also slightly acclimatised to the more biscuity, nutty smell if it doesn't last for too long. So this is, I think, really cute. I'm not sure it's worth getting this one rather than Sol de Janeiro. I feel like this actually, to be honest, and this goes for all of these that I'm about to talk about, they don't smell massively strong when you're spraying them. I doubt they've got a very like big sillage, but I could still smell them when I'd had my shower. I've tried all of these on my skin and I could really smell them still after I'd scrubbed with like a shower gel. So they seem to last a decent amount of time. They're just not very strong. So this is kind of probably equivalent, even though, what does it say? Eau de Parfum. I mean, it's not really, I don't know. It's probably it probably lasts longer than the body spray, but I'm not sure that it's any stronger, if you see what I mean. So I don't know that I'd say to get this one instead of Sol de Janeiro, except for the fact this is 100ml for less than a tenner. So it's more affordable. So if you're on a budget, absolutely get this one. I think people who love the Sol de Janeiro definitely can smell the difference, but I think I quite like the freshness here and the slightly less caramelly nuttiness of it, if you see what I mean. I quite like that tangerine vibe that you get. So yeah, I think that's a really cute one. So that's Boum do Brasil, and that is a cute perfume. So what have we got next? Okay, I think we should talk about the one that I absolutely hated, and I mean, I hate this one more than I hated the Tartlet Citron, and that one smells like chemicals to me. This just freaks me out. I will explain myself. So this is Amore Gold and Roses. I love how they have the notes on these. So, all right, you've got bergamot, orange, and what is Badane? Oh, I think that's the Star Anise. And then in the mid, you've got orange blossom, marshmallow, and rose. And the base, vanilla, tonka bean, and patchouli. So Star Anise is a weird thing, man, because what I'm realising is that although I love the smell and taste of it, I love it in cooking, and it does have this wonderful scent in reality, but in perfumes, I think it smells like medicine, like so medicinal, and I can't get on board with it, so this has gone badly for me. So this is the cool bottle. It has this, it's sort of a lid, it's more of a stopper, but it, to be honest, it's kind of springy and plastic, so I don't think it would really stop this getting pushed down. But it's cool. It doesn't fit on the other way around, so you can't have the little snake facing towards you. You have to have his tail. You've got to have the back of him facing to you. So really cool bottle. This is, let's just try and get that in, shall we? Let's get that in focus. Amore Gold and Roses. So, I mean, it smells like root beer, you know, it's got that root beer smell, but then it has also it's weird because it doesn't smell like Love Don't Be Shy, but it does have the marshmallow and orange blossom sweet element of that perfume. But then that Star Anise is so medicinal. It really smells like something from a pharmacy to me. But I think other people would consider that it smelled kind of root beer or dandelion and burdock, sarsaparilla, you know, that kind of smell. Which is just not something I like in perfumes, as it turns out. I really don't like Hypnotic Poison. But this one's not really particularly Hypnotic Poison. It's not thick enough. It doesn't have that same kind of nuttiness. But it definitely has a little bit of a crossover because it's a bit fresher with something like Acqua di Parma, Blue Mediterraneo, the Mandorlo de Sicilia one, you know. That one has the green almond and the Star Anise, and then it's got jasmine in that one though. So like sitting somewhere between Hypnotic Poison, the Mandorlo de Sicilia, and then Love Don't Be Shy, you've got this weird little guy. It is quite an unusual smelling perfume, but I think if you really like those kinds of perfumes that smell like root beer, then you might find this one quite interesting. It is quite powdery as well. Yeah, it's just one that kind of freaks me out because I do tend to have that response to things that smell like root beer. It's not even really my thing in terms of drinking, like that kind of taste. So yeah, that's just not for me. That's definitely not for me. But let's talk about something else. All right. Okay, yeah. This I think is also the third of this range. So this is the newest one of three. I have the first one that came out, which is called Azure Balcon Mediterranean or something like that. That one is basically, it's definitely styled on Acqua di Gioia. So it has this kind of fresh, slightly minty, slightly sea salty, just yummy lemony smell, you know. And I think actually I prefer it, if I'm honest, to Acqua di Gioia, because Acqua di Gioia I'm sure is also quite a chemical nightmare. That one's a bit screechy and sharp to me. But so that one I kept hold of. I quite like that one. But then the other one was called Azure Viri en Mer. And that one smells a little bit more like, it's like Monoi, you know, those kind of perfumes. It's like a tiare flower one, which I found, again, quite sharp and screechy. It just wasn't for me. It's got in that kind of not as sweet as, but similar to Bronze Goddess kind of smell, which that's just not my vibe. So Riviera Sunset, this one I had no idea what it was going to smell like. Not many reviews have gone up of this. And looking at the notes, I was like, I don't really know what this is going to be. So, because it's got quite strange notes. So, on the back, we've got black currant, lemon and pineapple in the top, peach, cherry and caramel in the mid, musk, sandalwood and transparent floral in the base. So, I don't really know what that means. I was not sure what this was going to be like. And to be honest, I would not advise buying this one, because even if you like the smell, it lasts on the card and on skin for approximately, I don't know, like 4 minutes. So actually, yes, I said all of these last quite well. This is the only one that is the exception to that rule. All the rest of these lasted after my shower. This one didn't even last so I could smell it. But again, might be aroma chemicals, because I think this one, I have to try and pull back a bit so you can try and see the whole thing. Can you see it? It kind of smells like a cheap body spray or something, but it smells very alcoholic, like very alcoholic. And I don't mean, it's actually so alcohol smelling, even when it dries down, that it smells like it has an alcohol note in it. Like if you told me there was vodka in this, I'd be like, oh yeah, okay, that explains it. I can smell pineapple, but I also smell a lot of peach. It's a little bit screechy, a little bit sickly. I'm not digging it. It's got that kind of not one of the good Escada summer perfumes kind of feel, or like a very cheap celeb perfume from like 2010 or something. I don't like this one. I don't think you really get caramel, to be honest. That doesn't come through. It's just kind of fruity, a little bit floral, a bit screechy. It's bad. That's all I can say about that one. It's not good. Let's have a look. It hasn't even really got any comparisons to speak of that I can talk about. So, yeah, no, that one, don't buy that one. That's what, that is a don't buy. So this next one is not on Fragrantica. It's been out for quite a while, so I'm surprised it's not on there yet. But anyway, this one's called Miss Cassandra. I've smelled a few of the Cassandra range. The ones that I'd say are worth buying is, I quite like Cassandra Rouge. Cassandra that one smells a little bit like a little bit jammy to me. Cassandra Intense just smells like a quite nice rose perfume. There's nothing intense about it. It's really light. And Cassandra Jasmine, that one's really nice as well. That one smells very similar to, what's it called? Marry Me by Lanvin, which is a lovely perfume. Perfect for weddings, actually. So if you're on a tight budget, then that one would be amazing. But anyway, I thought I'd try Miss Cassandra, because there's not really many reviews of this. It's not on Fragrantica. So the notes, let's have a look. Peony, bergamot and pink berries in the top, iris, rose, powdery accord in the mid, musk, vanilla and white sandalwood in the base. So I took a chance with this one. Rose is not my favourite note, and peony I often find screechy. If you're watching this and you haven't watched my stuff before, then you're probably like, oh my god, she doesn't like anything. And I am fussy. That's why my channel is called Skin Sense for Fusspots. Okay. This is actually super pretty. Okay. There it is. That's the bottle. Perfectly lovely bottle. Very cheap lid, which kind of lets the side down, because I think the actual bottle is quite thick glass, decent, and it's kind of interesting. But anyway, so Miss Cassandra, unsurprisingly, this does have the vibe of one of the modern Miss Dior. So I think, I wouldn't really know which one it was, but it's definitely, I'm just trying to think, not the one with the plastic bow on it, one of the ones with the fabric bows that's from the last, like 4 or 5 years or something. Let me just see, it's quite fruity. It's definitely got those lovely kind of fruity berry smells in there with the rose, but there's a fair bit of peony. There is a bit of powderiness. A tiny bit of iris. It's quite sweet. I think there's a decent dose of vanilla in the base of this. It's definitely a bit musky. The peony is not too screechy here. I think it's a really pretty perfume, and I think if you want a budget version of like one of the lighter, more kind of ethereal Miss Dior's, this is a really good bang for your buck, because I think this one cost me like £5. And how big is this bottle? 100 ml. So yeah, I mean, I think Miss Cassandra, it would be great for people who like Miss Dior. But what I like about this is it's not too sharp, it's not too screechy, but it's equally not horribly sickly sweet. It's quite nicely balanced, and I think it's quite a pretty perfume. So yeah, definitely for people who like a light, sweetened, gentle floral, really with a bit of fruit in, you know. It's really quite pretty. So it's actually very impressive, that one, for how cheap it is. It's like amazing. Okay. So these are the bits that I was the most excited about, and this is the reason I really wanted to do this second order. I was waiting for them to go in the sale or be on special offer. So we have Dame Jeanne Intense from Jeanne en Provence. Then we also have Dame Jeanne Nude, and we have Dame Jeanne Velvet. So I haven't really seen much about these perfumes, and there's not much on the internet in terms of reviews. So I just wanted to see what they were like. Number of reasons. One, Jeanne en Provence is an Arthes group perfume brand. So Arthes have two brands. One is Jeanne Arthes and one is Jeanne en Provence. And the idea, I think, of Jeanne en Provence is that it's a more natural and kind of light, and as you can see, more natural ingredient version of the kind of Jeanne perfumes, you know. So for the Arthes perfumes, I should say. So this says 90% natural origin ingredients, but sadly it doesn't say they're vegan. So maybe they're more clean, but they're not vegan. It doesn't say anything about being vegan, I don't think, anywhere, not that I can see. So anyway, explanation over. I also think they've got really cute bottles. So what am I going to start with? Okay, let's start with the Intense. So as you can see here, it says essence of orange juice. Let's have a look. They've got sweet orange, sweet Italian orange, that's what it is. So again, the notes: apple, blackcurrant, mandarin and sweet orange in the top, plum, jasmine, gardenia in the mid, sandalwood, benzoin and patchouli in the base. So this is my favourite of the bottles. It's so cute. Look at this guy. Doesn't that look like a cool potion? I just love these bottles. I think they're so charming. They do have a kind of Provence, like back in the old days vibe about them. Something you'd get in an apothecary. That's what it looks like. So yeah, I think these are really cute. And how much are in these bottles? They're 75 mls. These are slightly more expensive than the other Jeanne Arthes, generally speaking. Although the most expensive one I got was the Tartlet Citron. And that one I'm going to be returning because I really don't like it. But this is interesting, and I don't know that I know anything that smells like this to compare it to, other than something I've got that has a lot of vanilla in it, and this doesn't have a lot of vanilla in it. So, and this one, the notes being cassis, apple, mandarin orange and sweet orange, plum, jasmine, gardenia, sandalwood, patchouli and benzoin. You get a lot of that orange, and you do get actually quite a lot of green apple in this one as well. And then you've got a hint of cassis, there's a bit of greenness. You definitely, as this dries down on the skin, get more of that plum, and it's a really pretty plum. But you also get quite a lot of patchouli. So this is this isn't the kind of thing that I normally particularly like, because I don't really enjoy patchouli very much. But I do really like the plum here, and I do like the orange. I like the kind of, it's weird because it kind of smells a bit like a summer fruit chewy, but it's not sickly. The only thing I can think of that this is giving me any kind of vibe of is my Elizabeth Arden Untold Absolute, but that's a very, like, it's got a lot of benzoin. I think that one's also got plum. It's got a little bit of patchouli. It does actually have, it shares some notes with this. It's got jasmine as well, but that one has quite a heavy vanilla in it too. So I think of that as being like a wintry vanilla perfume. Well, a vanilla and benzoin perfume. But this one doesn't have that same sweetness, so it's like a sheer version. I do actually quite like this. On my skin though, I'm trying to work out how I feel about it, because I think the patchouli and the woods come out quite a lot on my skin and almost move this, although I'd say it smells relatively unisex to me, this one, but I think it starts to smell maybe a little bit more masculine when it's on my skin. But again, I mean, I've been testing these all at the same time, and some of these are really sweet and girly, so maybe it's just that this is just quite neutral. But I also quite like this one. I think it's pretty. Yeah, I think that's a pretty one, so that one I'm going to keep hold of. I like it. So, has it been compared to anything? Oh, someone's compared it to Rihanna Rebelle, you know, the one that's in that ugly bottle that's supposed to be, it's like an upside down stiletto with the kind of red round it. I've only ever smelt that in a shop, and that one's definitely a fruit chewy. But it's like a kind of coffee creamy one. So again, it's very possible that this just smells like a non-creamy sheer fruit chewy. I mean, kind of the vibe I'm getting, you know. So maybe it does have a little bit of that profile, but I think overall it doesn't actually smell like that one to me. But again, I've never really worn that one. I've only smelt it in stores, so who knows? I could be completely wrong. Next up, Dame Jeanne Nude. So this one, what does it say? This one has a different type of citrus. Oh, this is blood orange. Okay. So this is a box where it's clearer through my screen because of the texture of this one for some reason, of the print. So lychee, rose petal, blood orange in the top, cedar, freesia, lily of the valley in the mid, and then musk and whitewoods in the base. Now, this one does remind me of a couple of things. Let's have a quick sniff. Oh yeah, definitely. So Dame Jeanne Nude is a rather pretty rose perfume, a blood orange and rose perfume. So I get quite a lot of pear in this. I get a hint of lychee, but not too much. I can be really fussy about lychee, and the lychee in here is totally fine. I get more rose than any of the other notes here, and I've definitely got a muskiness, and I've definitely got a little bit of a woody base. So this does smell like a bit like Chloe, although I like it more than Chloe, like the original Chloe, because I find that one a little bit much, a little bit headache inducing. It's not my favourite, but this definitely does smell a bit like Chloe. And at the risk of people losing their minds and getting furious with me, it's also making me think of Stella, the original Stella by Stella McCartney. I have a little bottle of that original, of the original formulation of that perfume, and this is not identical at all. This is a slightly brighter. It doesn't smell as kind of dark as that rose, but because of that orange and rose combination with a little bit of musk and a little bit of wood, it is kind of reminding me of Stella. I would say that Dame Jeanne is sitting in between kind of the Chloe profile and the Stella profile, and this is comfortably like right in between. So if you like those perfumes, you'll really like this. It's pretty, it's quite simple smelling. It's just a pretty citrusy rose that isn't too sharp. It's not screechy, and it smells quite natural. Yeah, and that's just a really pretty one. It's completely redundant in my collection because I have Stella. And to be honest, I don't wear rose perfumes enough to keep this one really, but it's really very pretty, and I do think it's super cute. Another cute bottle, see? It's just so cute, these bottles. I love them. So that's that one. Let's have a look. And actually, it does share quite a few notes, doesn't it, with the old Chloe Eau de Parfum. It's got the lychee, it's got the rose, it's got the lily of the valley, it's got the cedar. So yeah, definitely got some similarities there. So next up we have Dame Jeanne Velvet. So this one, this is Mandarin, is the big deal special Italian note. And another lovely bottle. There it is. Jeanne Velvet. This one. This was driving me slightly mad because it smells like something that I know and I couldn't think what it was for ages. And then I sniffed the thing that I know and I was like, oh, idiot, that's what it is. So, this one, did I give you the notes? So what have we got? We've got pear, blackcurrant, mandarin in the top. We've got neroli, jasmine and lily of the valley in the mid. And then the base notes, we've got musk, cedar and sandalwood. This is a sheer and very kind of fruity take, I would say, on Pure Poison from Christian Dior. So it has a kind of orange blossomy, slightly jasmine-y, body lotion-y, musky smell, like clean musky smell. And it was honestly making me insane because I was thinking, this smells like, is this like a body lotion that I know? I swear it smells like perfumes I have. So I have a dupe of Pure Poison, which is called Mamba juice from Saffron. You can get loads of different juice with Pure Poison though. I also have the Pure Poison Elixir, the real one. And I feel like the Pure Poison Elixir, if I remember correctly, without checking the notes, I feel like that one has a stronger orangey note in it, but then it also has cacao, so it's like sweeter, creamier. It's like Pure Poison with a slight gourmand edge. This is like the extra orange, but with I mean, if you got Pure Poison Summer or Pure Poison Sheer, it would smell like this, is what I'm trying to say. It's really pretty, it's going to be so easy to wear. I can't personally wear Pure Poison in summer. I find it very overwhelming, even the dupe. So I think I could easily wear this one though, and it smells so pretty. I really like it. This one's definitely going to stay with me. So let me just have a look, yeah, because Pure Poison also has jasmine, has orange blossom. So this one has neroli, but sometimes I find neroli very bitter. This is not bitter at all. It's neroli done in a perfect way. It's very soft. So it's missing the gardenia, but apart from that, it definitely has a very similar smell, to be honest, in terms of profile. Yeah, it's really like, it's like Pure Poison light, fruity and light. Yeah, so I think this is a really nice one. I really like this range. I'm really glad that I tried them. So that one, that's Velvet. That one is Nude. And then that one is Intense. So yeah, I think out of all of these are by far my favourite. If I didn't already have Stella, I would keep this one, but I don't really need it because I have Stella. But I'm going to keep hold of this one because I find it really interesting, and I'm thinking if I can kind of get my head around the patchouli in this, then I might be really into that one. I love this bottle as well. It's my favourite of all the bottles. I love that ombre. But this one, this is a top tip, man. This is like a really summer appropriate version of Pure Poison. It honestly lasted on my skin for ages. So yeah, I think I like Jeanne en Provence generally, actually. The stuff that I've smelt from them I really like. Their Armandier one is fabulous. It's very light and ethereal, but it's gorgeous. So yeah, that is my haul. I think I've tried all of the Jeanne Arthes that I could ever want to try now. So I'm good for Jeanne Arthes for a while. But in terms of affordable, or I mean, let's be honest, cheap perfumes, because the most expensive perfume here was £15 for 100 ml. So they are technically cheapies, and I love cheapies. But my favourite cheapy brands by far are Jeanne Arthes, well, the Arthes group. So Jeanne Arthes and Jeanne de Provence and La Rive. So those are the companies that I'm happy to kind of try out. I rarely have like horror stories with any of them. Sometimes I just don't like the perfumes, but it's not normally because they're bad perfumes. I think the only one I think is a bad perfume is this one. I would not recommend you getting this one, but again, maybe Riviera Sunset is just an aroma chemical nightmare. It might be. But yeah, everything else, if it's your kind of thing, then I totally would say that you should keep them, and they're really cute. So yeah, I hope that this was helpful to anyone who's been looking at them. I hope it was a good cheapie haul for you guys who love a haul and love cheapies. Thank you very much for watching. If you like my content, please do consider subscribing. It really helps me as a creator. All right, thanks guys. Bye.